In the mystical kingdom of Zajari, a wise king named Kwame ruled with kindness. His beloved son, Prince Kofi, was adored for his gentle spirit and adventurous heart. But one day tragedy struck when Kofi fell from a great height while climbing a baobab tree. Desperate to save his son, King Kwame summoned the greatest healers from afar. A renowned seer revealed that a young woman in the village was pregnant with Kofi's child. As rumors spread, many women claimed to be carrying the prince's heir, igniting chaos. Among them was a fire, who secretly loved Kofi and held a hidden truth. Her envious friend Amma plotted to sabotage her chances at becoming queen. The stage was set for a series of tests to determine the true mother of Kofi's child. Who would prove worthy and win the heart of the prince? Once upon a time in a mystical African kingdom known as Zajari, there ruled a wise and benevolent king named Kwame. His people adored him for his fair judgments and compassionate heart. King Kwame had a son, Prince Kofi, who was the light of his eyes and heir to the throne. Prince Kofi was known for his kindness and gentle demeanor, admired by all the young maidens in the village. Despite his royal status, Kofi had a deep yearning for adventure and simplicity. He often ventured into the vast farmlands surrounding the village, seeking the thrill of a life free from royal obligations. One fateful day, while exploring the heights of a tall baobab tree, tragedy struck. Kofi, a young prince of 15, lost his footing and fell from the great height, sustaining grave injuries. The prince lay unconscious, his life hanging by a thread. The news of Kofi's accident spread like wildfire, engulfing the village in despair. King Kwame, consumed by worry and desperation, summoned the greatest healers from far and wide to save his beloved son. However, despite their relentless efforts, Kofi remained in a deep coma, unresponsive to any form of treatment. King Kwame, a devoted father, felt his heart ache deeply as he realized that Kofi, his only son, was gravely ill. Without Kofi, the future of the kingdom seemed uncertain. In his desperation, King Kwame turned to the ancestral spirits, praying fervently for their intervention and for the healing of his beloved son. The villagers, united in their hope, gathered to offer sacrifices and prayers, seeking a miracle for Prince Kofi's recovery. After 7 long days of waiting, a renowned seer named Abena arrived at the palace, her presence bringing a glimmer of hope to the weary king. Abena proclaimed that the ancestors had revealed to her that a young woman in the village was pregnant with Prince Kofi's child, igniting a flicker of hope in King Kwame's heart. However, the seer did not unveil the identity of this lady, leaving both the king and the villagers in suspense about who could be the bearer of this important news. King Kwame's heart swelled with joy at the thought of an unborn grandchild who could inherit the throne if anything were to happen to Kofi. He knew he had to find this young woman as soon as possible to secure the future of his kingdom. The news of the unborn prince spread throughout the village, and soon an influx of women arrived at the palace, each claiming to be carrying the prince's child. Among them was a beautiful young woman named Afia, who had secretly loved Prince Kofi for many years. Their romance had blossomed in the shadows, hidden from the prying eyes of the village. Just days before Kofi's accident, Afia discovered that she was pregnant with his child and had intended to share the news with him. But the tragic event had left her in despair. Afia, a caring young woman, tended to her mother in their vibrant garden when her best friend, Amma, rushed towards her, breathless and filled with concern. Amma informed Afia about the gathering at the palace, where many women were claiming to be pregnant with the prince's child. Shocked and worried, Afia confided in Amma, revealing her own secret pregnancy. However, consumed by envy and a desire to claim the title of queen for herself, Amma laughed it off and left with a wicked plan in mind. Amma decided to capitalize on the situation. Since the prince is in a coma and cannot speak, all these women are lying to become queen, she thought to herself. Let's play this game to see who truly deserves to sit on the throne. Afia, a determined young woman, arrived at the palace to find Amma among the crowd of women. The king, equally astonished, questioned the ladies about their gathering. The seer had claimed that only one woman was carrying the prince's child. So why were they all presenting their claims? Each woman insisted that Kofi had fathered their child, causing confusion to reign in the palace. King Kwam, known for his wisdom, decided to put the women through a series of tests to discern the truth behind their claims. The tests were set to unfold over the course of 7 market days, filling the village with anticipation and a flurry of activity. The men of the village busied themselves, while the women, eager to prove their pregnancies, sought ways to enhance their chances of winning the prince's affection. Amma was determined to outshine everyone. She kept her distance from Afia, who remained unaware of her friend's deceptive intentions. On the 7th day, all the expectant women gathered at the palace, where the village's renowned midwife Yor was summoned to confirm their pregnancies. To everyone's shock, Yor declared that all the women were indeed pregnant. With no clear resolution in sight, a new test was introduced, a seed planting challenge. Each woman was instructed to plant a special seed in Prince Kofi's garden, symbolizing the life they claimed grew within them. A spiritual ritual had been conducted on the land, ensuring that only the true mother of the prince's child would see her plant flourish. As the days passed, the garden came alive with vibrant growth. Afia's plant stood out, heavy and lush. Emma, consumed by envy, could not bear to see her friend succeed. In the dead of night, she sneaked into the garden while the villagers slept and destroyed all the plants, hoping to sabotage Afia's chances. The next day, the entire village gathered to witness the results of the test. To their dismay, all the plants had withered overnight, leaving the villagers devastated. In light of the unforeseen outcome, Yor announced a final test, one that would not only identify the true mother of the prince's unborn child, but could also heal Kofi himself. All the women were instructed to fetch the water of life from a mystical river deep within the enchanted forest. The water brought back by the true mother would possess the power to heal the prince, and she would be crowned the princess and future queen of Zajari. However, those who failed the test would face the dire fate of becoming slaves, serving the queen for the rest of their lives as punishment for their lies. As the implications of the test sank in, many women stepped forward, confessing their deceit and admitting to having lied about their pregnancies. They were pardoned but left with the burden of shame for their actions. Only Amma, a determined young woman with dreams of becoming queen, refused to step down, unwilling to relinquish her ambitions. With determination, Afia and Amma embarked on their journey to retrieve the water of life. Their friendship now turned into a fierce rivalry. Along the way, Afia, weary from the journey, decided to rest, giving Amma a chance to execute her treacherous plan. Amma stealthily swapped Afia's container of water with her own, believing that since she had not truly been pregnant, the water Afia possessed would not have the power to heal the prince. When they returned to the palace, the entire village awaited their return, their hopes hanging in the balance. Amma, filled with false confidence, presented her water to the unconscious prince. To her dismay, nothing happened. Confused and desperate, she wondered why the water she had exchanged had failed to work. It was then that Afia stepped forward, unaware of Amma's deception. With sincerity and love in her heart, she administered her water of life to Kofi. Miraculously, the prince jolted back to life, his eyes fluttering open. It wasn't merely the water that had revived him, but the genuine love and connection Afia shared with him. The village erupted in joy and celebration at the miraculous turn of events. Afia, the humble maiden who had never deemed herself worthy of the prince, was crowned as a princess and the future queen of Zajari. Months later, she gave birth to a healthy baby boy, a young prince destined to inherit the throne. As for Amma, her envy and deceit had cost her dearly. Zajari, once full of ambition, found herself stripped of her dreams and forced into servitude, bound to the very queen she had tried to outsmart. Meanwhile, King Kwame, a wise ruler in his 40s, alongside his compassionate son, Prince Kofi, aged 20, and his caring daughter, Princess Afia, aged 18, governed their kingdom with love. Their leadership ensured that Zajari's former home thrived under their reign, a stark contrast to her current fate. The story of Zajari serves as a reminder that true worth and happiness come from honesty and love, not from deceit. Thus, the tale of the village maidens and the prince's child became a cherished legend celebrated for its triumph over jealousy and betrayal.